However it gets the quicker I can go hard again. I'm not there.
Isn't it amazing? We have built such a great fortitude. Luke. So you know you are on. Someone's also kitty shit off. So 2 blocks and a strap and a blanket as ever. And I've been doing this fortitude flow. Ursula is there, of course. And it's been really big in the legs, so this is much less about the legs and just a chance to sort of move through the whole house. Our best immunity is to move the whole body. That if we only breathe in and what we're breathing in is shared with everyone else, we can have this little sort of ecosystem. And if we're only using this much of our air filter, this much of our lymphatic system, this much of our immunity, we are only using 20% of what's possible, what we're capable of. So if we can imagine that you're breathing all the way to your feet, flushing out the whole front surface of the body, all of this is covered in lymphatic nodes, and we just want to flush the body and start again. So a very similar sensation at the end to what we did last night with the yin. And we will start out on hands and knees. We will start out on hands and knees. So if you need to, putting a blanket underneath your knees, if you like a little extra padding. And then walking your hands out long, your hips back, folding slowly, and let your hips move side to side. And feel that there's a little bit of space, a little bit of play through the back body, letting the tailbone sort of round down toward the floor. Rising up, let your tail rise, let your heart sink, let your chin rise, round, and fold back with a little tuck of the tail, little tuck of the chin. Start to find your breath rising up, inhaling, broaden the collarbones, lift the chin, exhale, round down, really pulling the chin toward the tail. Good. And rising up. Now as we go, we're going to find that there's a little space behind us. And what I mean by that is coming up, opening the chest, drop towards your left heel. So from your right hand to your left hip, reach back into that little rounding. And then come back into neutral, dropping the navel, lifting the chin. Left hand down, tuck of the chin, as though you would take your chin towards your right hip, and then bring it back up. So we'll begin to find a little bit of an A, right? Inhaling up, open through the chest, and then exhaling back down through the right hip. And you begin to find your own pace, and the whole body begins to move a little bit side to side. See if you can find from the back outer hip to the right outer ribs, outer shoulder. What happens if you sort of let it swing across the top? Even allowing the breath to come out through the mouth. That it rounds out the top and the reach of your hip gets a little bit deeper back. And we'll go 3 more. Starting right at the surface of your skin, right where your skin meets the world, right where your skin meets your body inside. That's what we're trying to connect to just with this gesture. And then come right down the middle. Tuck of the chin, round the back, drop the head, and we'll do it 3 times with our Om. Find the middle, inhaling up. Broaden the back, exhaling. Om. Center. Feel the midline. One more right up the middle. Rise with the hands and knees, put a block underneath your left hand, put 2 blocks under the left hand, and just tuck the right toes flat to the floor. Left toes are behind your left knee, open out. So the work you just did from the outer shoulder to the outer hip, just let it get a little bit bigger. Pausing here, bring your right elbow to your right knee, and then inhale, opening. Find your breath. And we'll stay right here. So there'll be a pulse today. We'll move in and out of simple postures. And in the in and out, you're exploring where you need to go, what's possible today. You can turn your chin up and down. And then we'll pause. 1 more, elbow to knee, and then right foot flat to the floor. And stay. And just feel what starts to clear outer right foot to the floor. The breath all the way through the collarbones, the left hand down. Move your right fingers, left toes down, open the navel, the chest. But after a week away, you're finally back on the mat maybe. And then just say 2 extra breaths. And in the stillness, don't try to go further. Just reside in the breath. If you need to, turn your chin down. Take some of the effort out of it. And just be in the shape. Good. And bring your hands down, your knees down. Set your blocks to the back end of your mat. Your right toes are tucked under, step your left foot flat, your right hand down, and come up over the top and just pause. Starting to feel a little deeper into the body, beyond the skin, elbow to knee, and then inhale, open. And it's a personal gesture. You are making this in the way that your body appreciates. At the pace, at the depth, you're savoring the little changes, the little bits of space. And then maybe once you've found it, you can let that pulse go a little bit quicker. You can release the chin, the jaw, the face a little stronger. 2, 1, and flatten your foot and just let it run through you. With no force, without trying to go any further. Reside in the left foot, the right hand. Invite the breath through the chest. Soften your left fingers. If you need to, turn your chin down and then stay those extra 2 breaths. Feeling all the connections beginning to unfold. Good, good, good. And then 2 knees down, set your blocks to the top. Find your downward facing dog. And just pedal your knees, turn of the chin, let all of it loosen a little bit. As though when you pedal your knees, you can take your hips much further side to side, similar to the child's pose that we did. That's it. And then let your head follow the line that the hips are making. Good. Settle your feet. Knees are soft, heels are high, heart is long. Just let your heels reach a little bit back, a little tuck of the chin, and keeping your feet right where they are, let your hips go to the right. Let your hips go to the right and anchor your left hand, drop your head. Feel how you're breathing a little more deeply into the left side, ribs and spine, left palm flat to the floor, drop your head. Hips to the right, drop your head. Building these moments of quiet. Into the center, lift your heels up, high, 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 bend your knees, hop your seat around, turn your chin, so that when you plug back into the base of your thumbs, hips up, drop of the head, feet drop back, maybe they find the floor, and your hips go left, and your right hand is your anchor, drop your head. And breath into the right side body, open the right armpit, the right side of your neck, your right ear canal, all the way into the feet, all the way through the sides and insides of the thighs. Drop your head more. Good. Good, to center. Fold the blanket out of the way and just set it to the side. Walk your feet to the top. Big bend in the knees. Blocks are at the top, hands at your hips. Stand up tall. So as your heels go down, your thighs go back, your hands come high. Interlace your fingers. And with your hands up high, shoulders down, lift your heels. And let your feet spread out. So the base of your big toe spreads away from the base of your little toes. And then wobble around a little bit. And in the wobbling, you're going to fall outside and you'll ground the inside. You'll find inside and you'll ground the outside. As you slowly bring your hands down, bring your heels down. See if you can make them all work out at one time. Crazy. And then bring it up. Follow your breath. Heels up, hands up. Exhaling, heels down, hands down. Just let it slow you down. That you start to become aware of a different pace. Can you slow into your feet, find the pads of your toes, and then roll down. Find the outer edges of your feet all the way to the heels, one more like that, rising. Lengthen your belly. Now stay 3. Open the arches of your feet. The length of your toes without gripping the floor. Open the palms, open the eyes. Heels down, hands wide. Go, 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 go. You're going to want to fall over backwards. Keep it. Out the hands, out the feet. So your right foot stays forward. Set your blocks in front on the left side. So the blocks would be in front of the left foot, and you step the left foot back. Your heels are in 2 separate tracks. Left hand wide to the side, then thumb down, and then against the spine. It's wonderful. Hands up. High to the wrong one. Right hand wide, right thumb down, back of your hand. Take your left hand up. We're square. Beauty. So out of the left heel, left arm beside your ear, you're coming down. Now maybe the block is needed, or set one down and see. So that you can drop your head, and as you drop your head, let your hips swing a little left. And square that right hip back and lengthen the back of your neck. This will be our fold. So come to the left fingertips, activate the navel, lift up tall, arm beside your ear. We will go 3 times, up, 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 up. And take it with you. Left hip forward, left heel, fold. Find it, navel to spine, hips left. Take a breath here. So we're firming the legs. Lift the hand, arm beside ear. We're strengthening the back of the body and fold. It's less about how far you go into the fold and more the control you've got in your legs. We go one more time, rising up. Press into the front big toe, get tall, left hip forward. Good. And then bring it all the way down. Pause. Pause with all that length. Bring the block just inside your right foot. Plant your left hand, roll your right ribs, scissor your thighs. Look up. So roll your right elbow back. Scissor your thighs, press into your feet, right hand high. From the navel. From the navel. Lifting the back left thigh away from the floor will lengthen the left side of your ribs. And then stay 2 more breaths and open without trying to go further, open from the inside. That's it, that's it, that's it. And letting it out, right hand comes down, left knee comes down. If you need a blanket, blanket under the left knee. And right hand to the thigh, left hand high. Yeah. Swing your hand down, come back. And now just start to ease out of that left side body. So right knee is bending as you lift your left hand high. Yep. And then letting it go. So we're cleaning house. Start to feel from the very base of your left knee, through your thigh, through your heart, through your hand. Just the sweep, the freedom. It's clear. We're going to go one more time and then both hands come up high. Good. Interlace your fingers, press away. All the way up and out. And just like our hands high and our toes, tuck in the chin, hands down, let your hips come back around your back. Here's breath out. Sweeping up, bending the knee. Here's breath in. Feel it come through the chest. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, rising. Beauty. One more big breath out. And in. Good. Bring your hands, thumbs to the heart, hands in prayer, and halfway back. So as you press your thumbs into your sternum, see if you can bring your navel back and press your left hip a little forward. So you're pressing your heart into your thumbs, and you're sending that left hip forward, and you're getting really long in the left thigh. And then left elbow outside of your knee. Use your arm, use your opposite hand, manhandle yourself a little bit. Now, palms to touch. Let your front knee come forward and back. That's where the twist is going to show up. That's it. And as you bend that knee, that's where the revolution is. So inhale, you can look down a little bit. And then exhale, as you bend your knee more deeply, you just turn to the back. Inhale, looking forward, release your neck, release the turn, and then drop your weight forward and revolve. Go one more like that, giving yourself some space, take it back. And then bend your knee, pause. If you choose, keep going and lift the back knee up. If not, stay where you are. 3. Soften your right hip, swing your hips to the left, 2. As you can, as you can, as you can. Knee down, hands down, step back, down dog, let it out. Let your hips fall right. Left hand down and away. Hips fall right, drop your head. Hip center, hip center, hip center. And then wide knees. Child's pose down the center. Starting to feel how these simple changes in the way that we're holding our body can make such an internal shift. Feel the left side, arm, shoulder, wrist, breath, hip. Whole left side changing. Rise into hands and knees. We'll tuck the toes. Walk your feet just a half step forward. Bend to the knees, heels are high. Look at your left hand and take it an inch closer to the center line and really wrap your left shoulder back and your thumb down because the left hand will hold our weight. Right hand comes to the left shin. Bend your right knee more and your left heel back. Look up under your left armpit. So your right hand is pulling on the outer left shin. The left shin is pressing back. Look up under your left armpit. Press the left hand down. Turn your navel left. Flush into the left side kidney, left side hip. Empty the drawers, empty the closets. And then hands down, hands and knees, cat-cow. Hip side to side, hip side to side. Feel left side, feel right side. Round, 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 round. Drop your head, press down and away. Drop your head, broaden your shoulders, down and away. And then neutral, tail back, let the heart sink forward. Broaden the collarbones, thumbs down. Good. Turn your fingers in, interlace your fingers, press your palms down. So the way that we've been working with our hands interlaced, press away, down into the thumbs, pull your shoulder blades apart, pull your collarbones apart, draw your navel towards your hands, draw your hips towards your heels. Lift your chin, feel it all the way into the root of your tongue. Now hips side to side, 3. All the small ways that we are interconnected. The hips, there is connective tissue from your outer left hip that wraps across your body to your outer right jaw. So we're connected, opposite hip, opposite jaw. Tuck your chin, round your back. 5. And in, and out. And in, and out. Good, last one. And palms downward facing dog, other side. Walk your feet to your hands. Hands to your hips. Big bend in your knees. Stand up tall. Feel the difference. Left side, right side. I feel my left side jaw. My left side ear. So out the hands, out the feet. Right foot steps back. We could go through both sides again, or just put the left hand up and the left thumb down and take it to the back. So that your right hand comes up high, anchor into the back of your right heel. That's your anchor. And the right hip wraps forward and the right hand opens. Good. Arm aside ear, tuck of the chin, hinging, folding forward. Find which block setting is appropriate. And just resting the hand on the block, let your hips go forward. Your hips go back. Drop your head down. And just pause a moment until the hips square out, the shoulders square out, the left collarbone floats back. Then you know that's the spot for your block. Fingertips of the right hand, ready, engage the navel, right hand high, we inhale up, go slowly, we're building the spinal muscles. Tuck of the chin, reaching out of your back heel, navel to spine. Take a breath in here and fold again. Rising up, arm to side ear. That's it. Keep squaring your right hip forward, lengthen it all, and then fold it down. So each time you rise and each time you fold, you're getting a little bit longer through the right side body. Last time we go into the back heel, rising tall, up, out. Square the hips, square the chest, and we will pause, right hand to the block. So the right side body getting long. Right shoulder, right hip, right heel. Bring your block back just inside the right foot, right hand down. Use your left elbow to revolve the ribs. Scissor the thighs and lift your right thigh away from the floor, and then the left hand is last. The left hand is just frosting. Open the collarbones. And then half that effort, simply standing in the feet, standing in the right hand. And if you take away the effort, can you find a little more space? Can you allow the turn, the jaw, the face to change? Good. Look down. 2 hands down. Right knee down. And so with that revolution, just if you wrung out a cloth, the next thing you do is you shake it out. So the right hand comes up high. Take it back, and then bending your knee. The bend in the knee is what makes this bow, and down, take it back. So inhaling, you come open, back toes are tucked under. Exhaling, you go down. And how far and how fast is absolutely determined by your body. And you can begin to feel, as we were saying at the beginning, can I breathe all the way in and down to my right foot? Can I breathe all the way in and up into my hand? That my whole body is here to protect me, to hold me, to heal me. Good, and then right hand high, stay. Interlace your fingers. Press your palms to the sky. Right toes are tucked under. So that when you send your hips back, you can round, little bend in the elbows, and then pressing up, hips heart high. Exhale, round, chin in, spread the back. Inhale, hands up, open the front. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, rising. Your breath, your pace. Go one more, meet at the top. Beauty, all the way up. And as you bring your hips back, bring your palms together, thumbs to the center of your chest. Right elbow comes outside your knee. And a little at a time. The more you bend your knee forward, the harder it is to get that twist. So bring your hips back. Then you can anchor your elbow. Put your palms together. And now allow the front knee forward and back, just like we've been doing. And each time your knee comes forward, press the palms and rinse from the base of the spine to the throat. So let your hips move forward and back, at least 3 breaths. And begin to feel a little turn of the chin as your hips go back, your chin goes down. And then bending the knee, rinse, revolve. Good, one more. This time as you bend your knee, weight into that left foot. As you choose, just bend the knee, press it down, and the back knee rises steady. Gaze is back as though you could look at your right heel. Right thigh floats, navel to spine, revolve. Left ribs over right. 3, 2. Excellent. Right knee down. 2 hands down. Stepping back down dog. Hips fall left. Drop your head. Hips fall left. Right thumb down. Right outer shoulder wrapping back. Center on your dog. Widening your knees to the floor. Find your child right down the middle and fold and rest. A little wag of the tail side to side. Let it settle. Coming to hands and knees. Tuck the toes. Take the rinse all the way through the body. So a half step forward on the balls of your feet. Open the arches, knees are soft. You're bouncy, you're pliable. Look to your hands. And your right hand, take it an inch towards the center line and really wrap your right shoulder back. The right hand will hold the upper body. So left hand goes to your right outer shin. Knees are bent. Bend your left knee more and press your right heel back. And begin to revolve your gaze up underneath your armpit as you reach your right heel down. Press your right hand down and away and spin to look up underneath the armpit. Plug into your hand. Plug into your heel. Last breath. Gently look down. Hands down. Down dog. Knees to the floor. Take a block, walk your hands for it, and rest your heart right on your sternum. Now, you may find a block under your chin. It's also possible. So, plug the palms into the floor. Spread your fingers. And as you spread your fingers, spread your shoulders. Find your thumbs down to broaden your collarbones. Find your pinkies down to broaden the outer shoulders. And then let your hips melt up.
So the hands are spread wide. The seat is spread wide. Press your hands down and away. So any modification is great here. If you need to, blocks are on their edge. We're going to stay another 20 seconds. So if you need to, you have a little more height. If you don't need the blocks and you want to explore, put your heart on the floor. Put your chin on the floor. See where you're going to go. But it is a place. Palms are strong. Thumbs down broadens the collarbones. Pinkies down broadens the back. Fingers are long. Where can you soften less effort and just be heavy-hearted for a moment? For 2. Plug your heart into the floor. And for 1.
Hands and knees, drop your head. Hip side to side, be soft, be slow. Just let your head hang. Listen to your body, close your eyes, let your head be very heavy. And let your hips side to side, move your head softly side to side. But press the base of the thumbs down. Feel how there's a little difference in the chest, in the back, in the lungs. Down dog.
So after the drop of the heart, it's easy to fall a little too far into that dog. So make sure you're not just dropping your heart towards your chest, but really pressing out. Okay? So that's dropping as you rise into me. There you go. Press your hands down and away. That's it. You feel the difference? Yeah, it's easy to sag right there. So looking forward, high plank. Step your right foot halfway up the mat. So to your wrist is not halfway. Halfway is the height of your hips. So my right heel is in line with my hips, and I'm going to come onto the outer left foot. Right foot down, right hand high. So I'm standing on 3 points. Turn your palm to the top, open the collarbones. Draw your right knee towards your left heel. And slowly take your right hand overhead. You will find your right outer hip. You will find your right outer hip. Draw your right knee back towards your left heel. Draw your left thigh up. Stand in the left foot. Stand in the left hand. In the nose, out the mouth. Out the tongue. Out the jaw. You can taste it out the throat. Turn your neck. Shake it out. Right hand high and down. Step back down dog, right hand, right hip, right heel. Big cleaning, getting deeper. You can feel going into the tissues. High plank, broad back. Left foot steps halfway up. So halfway is only as far as your hips. Falling over to the right side of your right foot. Left hand to rise. Right hand press down. Draw your left knee towards your right heel. So scissor the thighs and draw your left knee back. Turn your palm to the front and take the left hand over. So the left knee reaching back, the left hand over. Now in the nose. Clean it up. Turn of the chin, shake of the jaw, move the mouth around, squint up your face, change your expression. And the left hand high and then downward facing dog. Excellent. Stay in your dog or a big bend in the knees, widen your seat, bend in the knees and press to your plank. Bend in the knees, pull back to dog, press into your plank. Excellent. Exhale, plank. Inhale, dog. The whole body remembering how to move. If you want to add a little bend to the elbows towards your chaturanga, be gentle, be wise, be careful. One more. Plank. Belly down. Cross your forehead. Forearms, wag your tail. And feel the body. Drop your breath into your belly and soften your abdomen.
Walk your thighs back and make more space between your hips and your heart. Let your heels wobble in and out. Let your hips be soft. Oh. And put it all down into the floor. Everything you've accumulated, everything you've gathered, put it down into the floor. Asana serves as preparation, that we can clear away the patterns of our thinking and our breathing, and in that clarity we can remember, I am this. Now begins the practice. You have open front, back, left side, right side, top and bottom. If this is the time you have, I'd like you to turn over on your back, pausing with your knees bent and your feet flat and your palms open. If you'd like a bridge or a fish from there, set yourself up. Otherwise, simply rest. Knees bent, feet flat for at least 5 breaths, and then legs long into your Shavasana. Awesome rinsing, flowing poses. And we'll come back and meet you next week. Otherwise, we're going to just move through very simply. Hands beside the ribs. Tuck your toes, elbows in. Walk your toes closer, lift your knees. Walk your toes closer, press into your heels, press into your hands, tuck of the chin, lift your thighs. You're on your heart in your hands. Press straight down, rise straight out. Plank, dog. That you have command now. That you are home in your body. Walk your feet to your hands. Bend the knees, hands to your hips. Gently rising. Sweep wide. Take your time. It'll be a big change. Pause hands high. Your heels are heavy, your toes are long. Imagine you're spinning your heels apart. And as you spin your heels apart, it broadens the back. The shoulders soften and the face softens. This will be our inhale. Knees soft, hands wide down the backs of the legs. This is our exhale. 4. Rising out, hands up the backs of the legs, sweeping tall, feet long, heels apart. Exhale, widen down. That you are simply creating new order. Rising in your own body, in your own breath, in the space that surrounds you. You're creating new order. Rising. And then folding. Stay in your fold. Letting the breath run through this shape, this body, this breath. Add your blocks and just put them just ahead and outside of your pinky toes. So one option, if your hamstrings are tight and you don't bend your knees, you're going to have a little roundy back and this won't do you any good. Bend your knees, flatten your back, widen your seat, lengthen your spine. If in this posture you can get hold of your big toes, put your first 2 fingers between your big toe and your second toe. Hold the fingernails with your thumb. Widen your elbows, knees soft, ribs on thighs. Widen your elbows, fold down. This will be exhale. Heart up, arms straighten. Lengthen the back of the neck. This will be inhale. Exhale, folding, elbows wide. If it's hands on blocks, it looks like this. Press down, broaden, and then exhale. Bend your elbows wide. Keep your knees soft. So we're flowing. Find the breath, find the length, find the height, and take it with you as you go down. You're flushing more deeply into the joints, into the ligaments, into the tendons, and stay. Elbows widening, back of the neck invited to be long. Rock the weight into the balls of your feet. And if you're holding your big toes, really widen your elbows and float your shoulders away from the floor. Toes are long, not gripping. Widen your seat.
Let your head be long as though it was an icicle, as though it was melting off the hand. 2. Turn of the chin side to side. And then weight even into the heels. Legs go longer. Feet grow longer. Neck grows longer. Fingertips to the floor. Soften the knees.
Step your right foot back towards the left side. Step your left foot back in front of the right to cross your legs. Make sense? Then see if you can find a dog. Scissor your thighs and feel the inner thighs. Trying to find, now the inner edges of your feet are the outside edges of the pose. Can you get your inner heel towards the floor? As you come to hands and knees, your left knee will be in front of your right, a little widening of your heels. That way when you put yourself into child, you're going to fold. Hips go back. So this will be our flow. We're getting deeper into the tissues. Hands, knees, tuck your toes. Press down, lift your hips, down dog, press back. Hands, knees, breathing in. Left knee in front of right, exhale, hips back, breathing out. Inhale, hands, knees. Exhale, down dog. One more, hands, knees. And child's pose, take it back. Just to where you can and pause. Soften your inner thighs. Soften the hold on your thighs. Soften your outer thighs. Now let your thumbs be heavy. And your elbows. And your inner thighs release. And your shoulders soften. And your head falls. Until your toes can move. And the breath is full. Big, deep rinse. Hands, knees. Tuck toes, hips up. Good. The left foot steps to the front by the left thumb. The right foot steps to the right thumb. Knees bend, hands to hips. Pause a beat. It's going to be messy. That you can be using the surface of a sponge over and over, and that feels fine, and it's okay. But then when you really begin rinsing into some of the depth of your hips, inhale, hands up. And keep them up and shake your hands and shake your feet. And what you want to do is stay very loose and yet quite organized. Palms face the floor. The hands will turn left, the feet will turn right. And it's this tiny little loosening, shake. And you are getting everything out that you just loosened from your hips and your knees and your feet. Out the mouth, out the breath, out the fingers, out the toes. 3, 2, turn it a little more, a little further in the feet, a little further in the toes, and stand tall. And now notice, float, float. I am this. Notice, notice, notice. Such a difference. And down, knees bend. Left foot steps back to the right corner of the mat. Right foot steps back to the left corner of the mat, cross dog. Feel the breath behind your heart. Go deep into your body. Into emotions, into sensations. We are no longer at the surface, hands and knees. It's simple. It's gravity. Widen your heels and rinse out. Drop in. Take an extra breath. Find this pose. Follow your breathing. Inhale, hands, knees. Tuck of the toes, hips high, hands down, press back. In, hands, knees.
Out, cross-legged child, drop in. There's no work. It's just gravity.
Breathe when you need to, and on your inhale, you come up.
You lengthen out, you tuck your toes, you lift your hip, you drop back.
And one more time. Out the mouth if it's sticky. Hands, knees. Tuck the toes, find that cross-legged dog. See if you can get the inner edges of your heels back and down. Scissor your thighs. Hands, knees, last child.
We just settle, taking your time going back, that there's no hurry, that we just allow the weight of the body to be the bind. Let your hands be splayed evenly and heavily. Let your elbows be heavy. Soft shoulders, head drops. Soften your inner thighs, your outer hips. Breathing on the inhale lengthens your spine. Exhaling, soften your thighs, your knees, until your toes can move. Just one last ounce of resistance, reluctance, obstacle, hesitation that's just cracked into your bones. Wriggle, find it, that half inch more that you just left for too long. And then rise. Out of it. Down dog. Down dog. Down dog.
Good. The left footsteps. The right footsteps. We would never leave a sponge that had just scrubbed the basement all messy, hands to hips. Slowly, seat down. There will be more mess in this one.
Hands, feet. So the pulse of your body in this little turn is so incredibly useful. Turn your hips more. So we started out with the hips going side to side, and now get those hips as far as they will go. And it doesn't need to be a big jump, it's just this tiny shake it out of the body. Out of the face, the fingers, the jaw, out of the heart, and the heels and the hands. Go 3, 2. Beauty. And standing at ease. Just feel. It'll be big and messy. When you're ready, on your own time, at your own pace, you just start to widen up. At the top, interlace your fingers and press away. And feel the order slowly start to settling. Heels down, feet long, heart up, chin in, stay 3. Let something else organize you. Beauty, 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 and bring it down the middle. Sit it down. Take the blocks with you. Lay it back. Knees are bent, feet are flat, palms are open, pausing. Feel. It is not a small thing. Let your breath go where it needs to go. Let your body be still and simple.
Notice if any aspect of you is holding on. I carry the obligation of schooling my children. And I know that that's one of the greatest weights that's unnecessary in my body. If you can just feel around into your life, what do you need to put down? What if you put it down would feel like scandal? If you put down your finances, or if you put down your partner, if you put down your job, or the care of your parents, the care of friends, that just in this moment, they will be held by the same force you are. What happens if you put it down? And feel the space that slowly shows up in its place, and rather than weight, maybe there's a little buoyancy that can surface. I am this. I am held and I am supported, and I am free. See if that changes anything internally. And in that same quality of space, with that same thought, just leave it on the ground for a moment. Walk your heels a step forward and as wide as the edge of your mat. Let your right knee fall in and your left knee fall out. And then change sides. It's not about how far they go. Just let the inner thighs start to lengthen. And really here we're getting into the very depth of the connective muscles through the spine to the hips. Let your right knee fall in. Let your left foot drop to the outer edge of your left foot and let the left knee fall. Take your hands overhead. Let the left hand hold the right wrist. Elbows may be bent and wide or arms extended. Working here, dropping your right knee down to send your right hip forward if you choose, or keep it passive. A step further, take your left ankle, cross it over the right knee. Press down on the left ankle and up on the right knee and send your right hip forward as though in camel. Starting to open the front of the thigh and the hip. There we go. If you like, the left hand reaches the right hand overhead. And then the whole action is effortless. Take out any work. And let space deep into your body. To center. Feet flat. Release your hands. Bring them down. Hands to hips. Quiet. Let your knees fall to the right, so the left inner knee falls down. The right inner knee falls open. Left hand overhead. Right hand overhead. Right hand holds the left breast. And without going anywhere, you're just beginning to allow the hips to widen, the breath to deepen. Arms extend a little further if you choose. Stay here, or right ankle over the left outer knee. Press the bottom knee up into the right ankle down into the left knee, and the left hip forward. into the center, feet flat, hands down. Taking your blocks. First setting would be they are side to side and you will lay them on their belly. Second setting, they are belly to belly and you lay them on their side. So I'm going to have us start there. Hips up, take your blocks, bring them belly to belly and they're on their side. So they're on their second setting. And you have this nice large platform that goes just a little beyond the backs of your hips and just a little below the back of your navel. So you feel supported, feet are flat. Inner thighs, make sure your thighs can fall a little towards each other. And as your thighs fall towards each other, let your sternum float towards your face. And then tuck one shoulder under, tuck another shoulder under, and widen your arms. Tuck a shoulder, tuck another, so you're on the tops of your shoulders. Feet are flat, inner thighs falling in. Bless you. Look to the left shoulder now and spin your right palm down. Until the whole flat of your right palm is into the floor. This will take your shoulder off the floor, and that's okay. Your shoulder is going to roll forward towards your right hip, and your right palm will be flat in line with your right shoulder. Your chin is turned to your left shoulder, and your inner thighs turn in. As you bring your chin back to neutral, drop the right shoulder to the floor, keeping your left palm down. And then release, the right palm turns open. And the left palm turns down. Turn your chin to the right. Your left shoulder may rise to find that turn, and the left palm down. And feel that spin of the left thumb down into the floor all the way through your left hip, where we were just working with the knees falling in. Feel from your left hand all the way to your left hip. And let your chin come neutral. Palm down, palm down, palm down. Good. And then work there, or hands overhead. Tuck your shoulders under, your hands overhead. Maybe holding opposite elbows, and press the forearms to the floor to drop your shoulders. To lift your heart, to drop your hips. Back of the neck is long, arms are long, breath is long. This is definitely a place to stay. We'll be here 30 seconds. Or the heels are heavy. Release your elbows, bring your elbows down beside your ribs. As your elbows come down, your heels are down, your hips come up. It's very simple, it's just a float. Everything stays the same. Shoulders are heavy, elbows are heavy, heels are heavy. Back of the neck is long, lightly press the back of the head. Standing in the heels, inner thighs wrap down, each knee falling towards center. Each elbow falling into the floor, back of the head is heavy, front of the body is long. If your hips are raised, bring them down to the blocks. If your hands are overhead, bring your elbows down beside your body. Bring your knees towards your chest and rest your back on the block. Hands to the thighs or the outer hips. Extend your legs. So your heels rest on the ceiling, and you let your low back arch so that your seat is trying to sit on the wall in front of you. You still have the low back that you built with your bridge. Heels high. So if this feels impossible, you could get really crazy and put the strap behind your thighs so that you don't feel like you're going to topple over. If this feels doable, keep your heels high and take your hands overhead and hold opposite elbows again.
And now bring your breath higher as though you were smelling a flower. As though you were drawing the breath from the soles of your feet all the way to the tops of your lungs, smelling the flower. And then right out through the nose and the mouth, sit right into the seat. In from the soles of your feet, breathe up into the head. Firm your legs, firm your legs. A bend to the knees, a cross of the legs. Put your left knee over your right. Squeeze there. Or if you can, cross the left ankle behind the right knee. Find that bind. Elbows down beside you. And maybe the right tips of toe down to the floor. Can you find the floor with the tip of your right toe? Yeah. And pause. 3. Soften your inner thighs, let it lengthen your low belly, elbows down, back of the head down, just for 2. Float your feet, lift your heel, lift your toes, uncross. Let your feet be soft, bend and straighten one leg at a time, let it through. Good. And then right leg crosses over left, maybe the bind at the ankle. Bring the tip of your left toes down, the ball of the left down, and maybe the heel of the left down. And as the heel comes down, the heart goes up and the breath opens the deep inner length of the pelvis. So that from your navel to your hips gets longer. Soften your face, soften the grip of your legs. Lift your heel, lift your foot. Feet up, uncross, straighten and bend one at a time. And then the feet come down. Lift your hips to remove the blocks. Good. Spine to the floor. You may stay just like this. Walk your feet a half step forward. Keep the blocks in your hands for a moment and then just lift your head and shoulders so slightly, and this will bring your low belly in and help your low back. You're going to take your blocks at an angle like a V, as far forward as you can reach, which right now looks like it's under my knees, and they're on their edge. And I just walk my thighs until the backs of my thighs rest on the blocks, and there's this little traction so that my low back can be lengthened. And adjust by walking your chest away from your heels as you need to. Everybody's different. There will be a little sensation, almost like a little pulling through the low back and the front of the hips. We're making traction. We're taking the femur, the thigh bone, away from the body. You can even put your hands on your thighs and send the thighs a little further away, and just the body's reaction will be to clench on and hold the hips and hold the back. If you can, little at a time, just keep letting go. And now we're making space all the way in between the bones, in the hip socket, in the spaces where the spine meets the pelvis. Feel the space around the jaw, around the eyes, remembering that connection between jaw and hips. Walk your feet in. Get your blocks in your hands. The blocks will go edge to edge, so they make a big rectangle. And you just set that block right up between, just ahead of your knees, so that when you lie back, you can put the soles of your feet together and they're resting, outer edge of your feet resting on the block and your knees open wide. So the low back here is lengthened because the tail draws a little bit forward. There's a little bit of a rounding of the low back because of where the heels are. There's a little bit of a length through the inner thighs as the knees fall wide. You may help. I tend to stroke my inner thighs, sort of coaxing them. And if you place your hands on your thighs and you press out of the hip socket towards your knees, you'll feel the soles of the feet connect more clearly. And there'll be a space between your hips below your belly button that starts to open. Now with your hands on your inner thighs, try to press your knees together. This will round your low back. As you do, lengthen the back of your head away, the back of your neck long. Feel the whole spine get very strong and very long beneath you. And then as you soften, imagine taking a breath in, the knees widen, pull your heels towards your hips, let your low back off the floor like cat-cow. This is inhale. Exhale. Press your hands, try to press your knees together, rounding a little bit, and then inhale, pull your heels towards your hips a little. Inhale, exhale, press and round. Ha! Inhale, pull and lift. Exhale, press and round, trying to bring your knees together. And then inhale, pull your heels towards your hips, lift your low back. Good. Bring your knees into your hands. Shake out your feet. Good. Heels go wide. Hands to the inner thighs. Lift your head and shoulders go a little further down the outer backs of the thighs. Now, as you roll back your head and shoulders to the floor, you'll roll your thighs back. This will roll your low back off the floor. So I want you to roll your thighs into your hands. And find a neutral spine where you're pulling on the hands. This will round the back, but you're pressing on the thighs, and this will flatten the back, press into your heels. Little bend in the knees, this is inhale. Little press into the feet, this is exhale. All the way to the feet. Inhale, bend, and exhale, press. You're working with the arms, you're working with the legs, you're working with the low back. Keep the breath, keep a little pulse, a little press. All the work you've done, bring it all the way through and out your feet and out your heels. Clean out this last closet, and as you press into the heels, we stay 5. You may tremble. 4. Breathe the intensity of your posture into your body, and just dissolve that intensity into light. Melt the obstacles, melt the darkness. Through the whole body, as though you were breathing in from the soles of your feet. Turn the chin. Good. And then bending your knees deeply, hands to the shins, draw your knees in and together. Hips side to side. Hands wide. Tips of the toes down, lift your hips, shift them to the left, and then draw your knees back up and drop to the right. If you need a support, prop a block under your right outer knee or thigh. Right hand to your left thigh. And then left hand reaches overhead and sweeps wide along the left side floor. And then back overhead. So the left arm like a wing. And you slowly move further into that twist. The inner thighs falling together. The navel falls to the spine. And left arm falls wide, chin falling to the left shoulder. All the way out, drop the left shoulder, left hand, stay.
you have space, take your right hand as far behind your left hip as you can reach. And draw the left hip towards your right shoulder. Release your right hand, feet to the floor, spine neutral, hips neutral, pause center. Hands down. Notice left side, right side. Hips up and over to the right. Knees up, arms wide, and the left outer knee down. So if you need to, lock under the thigh, under the hip. Left hand on right knee, pausing. And find your way in by taking the right hand high and wide along the floor. And you're simply using this right hand to take the twist further through your body. Turning your head side to side, following the gesture. Getting a little extra length and turn. And then the right arm wide to the right, dropping to the floor. As you settle to the floor, soften and drop your thighs towards each other. Deepen your breath into your ribs like a yawn or a sigh, and drop your right shoulder, right hand. Chin drops towards the right shoulder, eyes closed. Last step, left hand slides to the right hip. Gently draw the right hip towards your left shoulder and drop into the back of the chest. Anything left to put down, put it down. Chin to neutral. Release your hip. Feet to the floor. Pause there. Hands up, thighs lightly press away. Any tension in your low back, you can draw your knees into your chest. And making your way into a soft seat, you'll take your blanket. And ordinarily it's kept folded in a small rectangle. And you're just going to unfold that small rectangle and then fold it into a longer rectangle, just in half. So it looks like that we would use as a seat. Put it down behind you. You've got at least 2 fists between the seat and the base of the blanket. If you choose, you can block beneath your knees again. Any tension in the low back, that can be good. So that as you lie back, you could fit your hand, there's a space between where your seat hits the floor and the base of the blanket, right? And then the legs go long, the palms turn open. And start with the hands and the arms quite close to the body. And as you settle, feel how the body will fall in different ways. Different parts will be heavy at different times. A shoulder and then a hip. And there's this settling.
And allow your breath to get a little bit bigger, so that you begin to explore the full capacity of your chest. Now, on the exhale, you can feel that you are heavy into the floor.
Letting the back of your head feel heavy, and the back of the neck is long. And the breath is full into the collarbones, like smelling a flower for a moment, big space. And the breath out drops and widens the shoulders. Feel the breath into the mid-body like a yawn or a sigh. Feel how that opens the back. Notice if you need the blocks at all. And if you don't, and if you just want to allow the backs of your legs to the floor, just gently remove them.
If there's any discomfort or distress with the blanket, set it aside.
And just staying with the breath, feeling the full length from the abdomen through the ribs to the collarbones and all the way out.
If you choose for the last 2 minutes, just softly roll to the right, take your blanket and lay it across the points of your hips.
And come back to the floor. Resting quietly, you're welcome to stay exactly as you are, as effortless as you are in your shavasana. Or the only change is to begin to direct your attention. Inhale, direct the sense of your breath down to the soles of your feet. And then exhale from the soles of your feet back up to the nostrils, out with the breath. Just this gentle sense of movement in on the breath to the soles of the feet and out. And release the effort and just feel how this begins to make a current in the body. Our attention, our awareness, what we do with it has an influence. Put your attention at the sole of your right foot. On an inhale, you draw the attention from the right foot to the top of the head. On your exhale, from the top of the head out the left foot. Inhaling up the left to the top of the head. Exhaling out the right foot. Inhaling up to the crown of your head through the right. Exhale from the top of the head out of the left foot. Inhaling left. Out right. In right. Out left. In left. Out right. In both. Out both. Feel. It balances us. Bring the hands to soft closure. Inhaling, both hands closed, attention to the top of your head.
Open your right hand and exhale out the right hand. Inhale from the right hand to the head. Close your hand. Open your left hand, exhale out the left. Inhale in the left. Close the hand, crown of the head. Out right, open your hand. In the right hand. Close the hand, top of the head. Exhale out left, open your hand. In left. Close the hand. Out right, open the hand. In right. Close the hand. Out left, open the hand. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. In both, close the hands. Open both hands, out both. In both. Close the hands, out both. Open them. Normal breathing, feel the body. Feel the air moving in through the nostrils. Feel it moving in through the nostrils up to the center of your forehead. And from the center of the forehead, out both nostrils. So inhaling, a point of light. Exhaling, out both. In and up to a point. Out both. The breath is soft and subtle. In right. Out left. In left. Out right. Soft body. In right. Out left side nostril. In left. Out right. Soft body. In right. Out left. In left. Out right. Normal breathing. Effortless breath. Stay longer if you choose. A really sweet place to allow this effortlessness to last as long as you choose. For deepening your breathing, your hands go overhead. Whole body open. We went through layer and layer and layer from the very edges of the skin, outside and in, into our connections
our planes, our front and back, our left and right. Walk your feet into our tissues and their organs and their bones, into our thoughts and our attention. I am this. Hands to shins, let it move side to side. Flex, point the feet, turn your chin. What needs to move, what needs to have a little extra breath. And bending your knees, you'll bring yourself up into the simplest of seats. Use your blanket. There's your bolster. As your legs cross, eyes closed, plant your right hand, let your left come up and over. And change. Left down, right up, over, that we come back into a simple gesture joint. Ha. If you're sticky at all tomorrow, start here. Work it through. See what's needed. Good. Sitting tall. Right hand to your left knee, left hand gently behind. Turn your chin to the left, right through the spine. Look to the front, inhale. Exhale, look to the left shoulder, a little bit of a turn. Last one, looking forward. And looking back. Release the right hand down, up, over, twice to change sides. And then the right hand back and the left hand to the right knee. Revolve. Inhale over the left shoulder. Exhale, looking back. Anywhere you missed, anywhere we didn't go, especially through the throat, the jaw, the tongue, the lips, the face. Good. To release your left hand, 2 hands high. Palms together down the center we go. We'll do 3 more without ohms. Eyes closed, inhale, bring it up. Hands at the forehead center. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, perfect peace. I am this. Know this, feel this, share it out, use it up, make more. I will see you tomorrow morning, or next Saturday, or whenever we meet again. Thank you for your time, for your practice. Namaste. Have a great weekend. If you didn't make it last night to the yin practice, if you want to, that link is live. It's up on marthamcalpin.com/RSVP. All the links are there. The squishy ball. Somebody opted out of yin and did squishy ball instead. That's fantastic. They're all there. After a month, they're coming down, so use them up. I'll see you soon. Sanam.